What's up, guys? Welcome back to After the Credits. Thank you again for joining me. Today is going to be a shorter episode. We are talking about Buckshot Roulette. It's actually a great little indie game made by one developer that I think is really, really cool. And technically, I did beat it. I got a Steam trophy, Steam achievement, rather, that said that I beat the game, but I've really only played it for like a half hour. So it's going to be a short episode, but I think the game is cool, and I'm excited to talk about it. So Buckshot Roulette is Russian roulette with a shotgun. It's very, very straightforward. You pretty much walk into the room against a evil-faced opponent, and as you sit down, a little thing flips up on the table and shows you some shotgun shells. The red shells are live rounds, the black shells are blank rounds. So once you see how many shells are out there, the opposition will load the weapon, pass the gun over to you, and it puts you in the position. So as an example, let's just say there's 2 red rounds and 1 black round. So 2 live rounds, 1 black round. Statistically, it's best to shoot the opponent in this case because you know that there's a high likelihood that it's a live round, or at least a higher likelihood than it being a blank. So let's just say you shoot the opponent. You would take 1 of their energy away, and in round 1 you have 2 energy apiece, so they lose an energy. It then becomes the enemy's turn to make the decision against you. So at this point, the enemy has 1 live round and 1 blank round, so a 50-50% chance. He has the decision to make whether to attempt to shoot you to drain your energy down by 1 point, or you can point the shotgun. He can point it at himself, and if he shoots and it's a blank, it remains his turn. So that would guarantee him that final bullet, which is a live round, and he'd be able to fire it back at you, taking 1 of your energy away. And this cycle just repeats, basically, through 3 different rounds. Once you expend all the shells in the shotgun, a new set of shells will flip up and appear to you. You can have anywhere from 3 shells. I think you can even have 2 shells. It can even just give you 2 shells. 2 shells to an entire rack of 8 shells. So it gets a little complicated as you go further and further into these rounds, as far as the amount of shells and having to keep track of what's in there, what potentially is in there, what your odds are, and things of that nature. But really, really cool, and it keeps you thinking and keeps you engaged really well. It's done phenomenally. The game gets really interesting, though, after you clear round 1. So let's just say we took away both energy from the opposition in round 1. He then gets revived, and we start round 2. When round 2 begins, a box comes up out of the table and starts to give you power-ups or equipment that you can use, which really changes everything and makes it really, really interesting. So just a couple examples. You can pull a beer out of the box, and if you chug the beer, it actually ejects the cartridge that's in the shotgun, which again, if you're in a 50-50 position and you chug a beer, that can sway the odds in your favor or whatever to help you understand what's potentially in there. There's also a magnifying glass, which is very strong, that you can obviously use, and it'll actually show you the cartridge that's currently loaded in the magazine. So very cool stuff, very nice twists in there to keep you thinking all the time. And you are locked in when you're playing this game, man. You are locked in, because if you're not, you have no idea what the bullet count is, and it gets really out of control. So you really got to stay locked in, and it's really, really interesting. So you have to go through 3 rounds. Round 2 is where the power-ups start to come in. Round 3 is, everybody, you both have basically max HP. So it's just round 3 is a longer round. And obviously the longer the rounds are, the more bullets there are, the more complicated it gets. And it just becomes this whole thing. But it's just a genuine, fun time. Personally, for me, I play it on Steam Deck when I'm just hanging out and I got 20 minutes to kill. I think this game is phenomenal for that. It's also done really well for a lot of content creators, from what I understand. I know it's really popular when I'm scrolling through TikTok for me to find people just playing Buckshot Roulette on stream. It works really well for that sort of a stream, because it's a really engaging 20 minutes and then you can just bounce. But yeah, I think this game is super, super cool, and it's very cheap. I think it's $5, but it regularly goes on sale. So if you're looking for a game that's just a good way, fun way to pass the time, kind of brain stimulating, I think this is a great option. So definitely check this one out. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think you'd probably like it as well. But that's it for this episode. I know it was a short one, guys, but I appreciate you watching anyways. We might have a little bit of a hiatus here on After the Credits for a week or two. Right now I'm playing Black Ops multiplayer still, and I'm thinking of starting another game, but my work schedule, I talk about this all the time. I'm just a really busy guy, and I know that we've been pretty consistent, which has been great, but it's just happened to work out, especially with a game that took me 20 minutes to beat. So might be a little bit of a hiatus, but just bear with me. And if you want to catch more of my content, I'm live as often as I can be on Twitch at CAMfidence Live, or if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, I go live on YouTube simultaneously with Twitch, so you can catch me on either of those platforms. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll talk to you real soon.